everybody. Today I'm with Pat at... What's up, man? How are you?
How's it going, brother? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you letting me coming in. So, you just recently got ownership of this Primo. So tell everybody kind of like who you are, your background, that sort of thing.
Good, man. So, from Port Richmond,
Awesome.
Born and raised. Went to Nativity grade school, North Catholic High School. Don't get mad at me.
No, we were talking on the phone earlier about this, and I was saying, like, the way the timing was when I went to Judge, literally North Catholic closed. So, like, we had a good bit of North Catholic students, like, go into Judge. And, like, for me as a freshman, like, I didn't really know, like, the lure behind, like, North Catholic
Right.
and them. The irony is I grew up around Ryan, so I knew that, like, Ryan and Judge had beef. I'm like, I knew this was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing.
Right.
And a lot of the older kids, like, luckily, like, I didn't interact with too many of them. The only sport, like, I remember I played lacrosse, and a lot of them were like they were beefing. But football, luckily, like, I was on the freshman team, so I didn't have to deal with as much of that stuff.
Deal with the mix, I hear you.
Yeah, but nah, that's awesome. So, growing up there, kind of, how'd you get into all this business and stuff like that?
So right when we graduated high school, me and a couple of my buddies, we went down and started working at the Primos and the Crest. Our buddy Paulie, he was like a manager, so he was like, yeah, come down here after you guys graduate, get a shore house, it'll be awesome. And I was like, cool, let's do it.
Yeah, it's the Northeast Special right
Yes,
there.
all of us were like, yeah, we all got our boys who got older, we all got our fake IDs. I'm like, yeah, we'll be at Keenan's, we'll be at Echoes one time. This is going to be great. So,
Is that's what street is that one? What was that one on? It's not the one that's down there right now, right?
now it's exit 6.
No, I meant the Primos, yeah.
So the Primos, yeah.
It's like right next. So my shore house is on like my parents' shore house is on 14th,
Yes.
and my fiance's family is on 13th, and literally like I walk past that Primos.
Right.
We get it all the time.
So
Yeah.
that's the most recent one, but the Crest was open a while ago, like
Okay, you did say that, yeah.
2001.
Wow.
So we all went down there. We're all hanging out, like and before like the summer rush comes, next thing you know, bang! It's like the weekends. Everyone's coming down shore. All of us were working like 60-hour weeks. No one's getting to Keenan's. No one's getting to Echoes. And I was just like, wow, this is bananas how busy it is.
Yeah, that's a tough lesson when you're that young too. You're in the mix. I have that funny thing. So my one brother's in college right now, and I'll like ask him like, "Hey, you doing anything this or that?" And he'll be like, "Dude, I gotta work." And I'm like, "Dude, you're really growing up, man."
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
He's like sick about it. I mean, he's so used to being able to kind of move and operate how he wants to. But so that's cool. So you got in kind of right out of high school. Have you been kind of doing that like since then?
Yeah, like since then, well, I went to college. I went to Widener, and then I went to Temple. A year of Widener, half a semester at Temple. I realized college just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's good.
enjoy
I
it.
try to tell that. Like, we talk to a lot of kids at Judge, and I don't ever want to be like critical of college, but it's good that you got out. You'd be surprised how many people do the whole 4 years, and it's just like they have no idea. And then and nowadays it's a lot of debt. You know what I mean? It's a big payment. So
100%. Yeah, I would have had no shot of making it 4 years. Not even close.
It's good you do when to get out. Yeah.
When I did that, I left college, and I went to tell my mom. She's like, "You better have something to tell your dad what you're doing." I was like, "Oh, mate." So my uncle was a concrete guy, masonry. So I did that for like 8 months, starting in November. It was the most grueling, hardest job ever. One, it was like all you need to do is they're all older, they're all big. So you have to go get break. I forgot cheese whiz on this guy Joey Skitz's one time pretzel. Never again. I thought he was going to kill me. He thought I tried to hook up with his wife. Did that, and after that, my uncle's like, "Yo, I'm going to go to a new company." I was like, "Great! I didn't want to do anything to your name. I am leaving this job. I got to do something else." I was like, "I can't handle it. It's brutal."
Yeah, you learn right there too, and that's when you were young then. I'm sure it's like 40, 50 years of that. You're like, oh, man. I feel like a lot of them people sometimes are like, "Oh, I should have." A lot of my boys obviously are blue collar, and they think it's funny to use the joke, but they'll always be like, "I should have went to college," blah blah blah. So they say that stuff all the time.
Right, man. It was tough, dude. So I was like, "All right, cool. I'm done with this." So then that's when I got start getting my hands in the deli in Port Richmond. My buddy Paulie, who managed the Crest holding years back, I had that, him and his buddy.
When was that? What time?
That was probably like right around like 2005, 2006.
Probably like, I always look back, like obviously I'm older so I didn't get the experience, but I feel like the early 2000s, like 90s, down in those types of like places in the city were probably so cool.
Oh, it's
like,
great.
Yeah, it was probably such like a community, like close knit, everyone knows everybody, like you're walking around everywhere. Obviously there's not like phones and social media and all that stuff, so it was probably like such an interesting vibe. Like I always hear people who are older talk with like such like good, obviously like energy about it.
We would be in there. It was called You Got a Deli when I started working there, and it was all our friends. So like all we did was I mean, we would crush each other, make fun of each other all day, make sandwiches. And when the customers came in, we knew they would try and like, it would be like a barbershop. Everyone's just like taking shots at everybody all day.
That's awesome.
I'm like, that sometimes like, does anyone come here to eat, or we just walk in and just mess with each other?
I know. I feel like we're kind of missing that a little bit in society now, because everyone's so on the move or this or that. So that's awesome. So you were working there kind of, and then that was Port Richmond, right? So you were there for how long?
I was there for about like 4 years, and then they picked up the store in Fishtown. That was also, it was Fran's Deli, but then they made it Primo Hoagies Fishtown.
So is that kind of the blueprint, I guess, where they're kind of, at first, Primos was kind of trying to go after places they knew were well established, I guess, because they had kind of the logistics and all those
and they had like a, a following already, so that's what we did.
Right,
So we did that. And then I became a partner in there after about 2 years. My buddy Paulie made me a partner. So then I was there for about the additional 3 years as a partner. That's where I met Billy Smith, that maniac.
Yeah.
And then I found out about Ardmore being for sale. Then I made the decision to go up there because I kind of want to do my own thing, see if I could do it 100% by myself. And then we went up there, and we were there for a total of 13 years. And my mom went with me right off the bat. Yeah. She was with me the whole time. My wife worked with me for a year, which was like...
So you were living up there?
No, I lived in Port Richmond, and we just commuted.
Yeah. So how's the difference between, like, obviously, like, it's a difference between being the employee and then going and owning it? Was that, like, a big thing, like, an eye-opening thing? I feel like that's where a lot of people realize, like, hey, I've worked here, I know how it all works, but then when you go into owning something and running it from the overhead like that, I feel like there's a lot. It's got to be eye-opening, right?
Oh, the business aspect was
it's crazy, right?
In my mind, I'm like, I can make the best sandwich in the world, no problem. Then it's like, you're talking to marketing people. Then you're like, oh, well, you can do this with the marketing stuff. You can do this online. You can try this vendor, all this different stuff. And I was like, oh my God, my head's spinning. And as opposed to trying to, I'm just thinking, hey, I'm going to make a bunch of hoagies. But
then, you're used to being like the employee. I feel like it works both ways too, though. Like, I'm sure there's people that went to business school and they're management and they go into one of these places and they're like, oh, I might be able to do these numbers and stuff. But then it's like, well, I need to talk to my employees. I need to be like a real situation. So I always feel like it's awesome when, like, to use obviously the analogy, but it's like when the general was a soldier, you know what I mean?
100%.
So I think it helps a lot in that aspect.
Yeah, that's what I would tell the guys. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I just want to sit in here, make hoagies, and cut 100 onions if I have to. I don't want to take a meeting. I don't want to take a phone call if I don't have to. It's going to be left alone. But, you have to do both. And fortunately for me, I was like, look, I had like people around me, like for instance, my wife, Mallory, really intelligent, super smart. So I would tell her stuff, so she would make fun of me. Like, I can't believe you're asking me this. I'm like, please just help me, and then she always would.
I have the same thing. So obviously, me and my dad work together, but a lot of times, like, I have the type of personality where, like, I'm like 99% sure I'm saying the right thing, but sometimes I just want to call and be like, hey, can you just, like, I need to hear someone else say.
Exactly.
So it's nice sometimes to be like, no, you're right. It's like, all right, cool. Yeah, and then also on the flip side, if it goes wrong, you'd be like, hey, like we talked about.
If you don't reach out to people that are like might be smarter than you, you're nuts.
Exactly. That's one huge thing my dad's always taught me too. Like, if you don't know somebody, well, find somebody that does. Like, there's so many people in the world that I think are willing to give advice and help that you would never ever expect that. Like, and myself too, like even me, like I'll be hesitant to ask people, or even for this like thing that I'm running small talk, like sometimes I'll be like a little hesitant, like, should I ask this person and that person? And it's like, a lot of times people want to help, they want to share knowledge, and I think a lot of us are tentative to do that, to go back.
And I think a lot of times people see like a little bit of themselves in you. They're like, oh man, I wish someone was there to help me out with this. And they want to do it, So that's great to be around people like that, man.
So you were at Ardmore, so how long did you guys run that one?
13 years.
Okay.
2000, we got it in 2011. We bought that store 9 months before I got married.
Wow.
I'm
engaged right now, so I have a newfound respect for anyone that's gone through that whole process, because it is definitely like more involving than I thought. I kind of thought it was like, hey, show up, do a couple dances, talk to people. It is like a whole job, so I respect the hell out of everyone in that business.
That was a tough talk. That was a tough talk. And so I'm like, yo, we have this money stashed over here for the wedding, but I need to take a decent amount of it to buy that store. And then thank God, she's always been 100% supportive. I'm very lucky. Especially, and then my parents always helped me out, and then but there was definitely some rides home from Ardmore. We didn't talk. I wanted to talk, but it just wasn't happening. It wasn't in the cards.
You need to know the right moment.
So listen to KYW and just not say nothing.
Let me zone out there. But so that's awesome. So that was going on for all that time. Now I'm assuming you were there before this one, right?
Yeah.
So then this opportunity came up. So kind of, I guess, talk a little bit about that. So obviously you're from Philly and everything like that, so that's kind of where you are. At some point when you were at the Ardmore one, did you guys move over here?
No, not at all.
So you're still over in Fishtown?
I live in the Northeast now.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, right on what do you call it? Greendale.
So that's perfect. So so you guys have been here. Obviously, I think it's awesome that you guys are like really, like we were talking about before this, but like super integrated in the community. Like you know people around here. Like even when I saw your guys' posts and everything, like I saw it through mutual friends. I was like, oh dude, that's so cool. Like this is the perfect type of person that I want on here. Like someone from the Northeast that has a small business and is trying to kind of grind it out. So talk I guess a little bit about how like you guys got into getting this one.
Yeah, so my best friend Eric Bonner, he's the vice president at Primos, and I was like, yo, if anything ever pops up near my area, let me know. I'm interested. You know, I just want to really take a peek at it. And he's like, calls me, he's like, yeah, the one on Washington Boulevard. The guy just called. He wants to sell it. Obviously, you're an easy preferred buyer. I was like, what's his name? What's his address? And I was here the next day.
That's awesome.
And I was talking to him.
How does that work, like selling it? Like I'm just looking, I guess I'm thinking from like a housing spot, but like are you just signing over docs and then someone else has to buy that other one before you can get this one? Or
so I had to do that.
Does like Primo's overhead handle that?
Nah, not really. So like so once he said yes, I put my store up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'd imagine if that would be the first, because I'm thinking from a housing standpoint, like, you want to go buy a house, you're probably gonna sell your house, yeah.
Exactly. So I called this broker that I knew like did pretty well with them, and with the Primos selling them. He got my stuff. He took him about 4 days, gave him all the information, and we had a buyer in Ardmore in about 4 weeks, like ready to go. Now, awesome. So it all happened quick, and then I was able to come over here. So on March 31st, I sold Ardmore and I bought Welsh.
Yeah, I think that
crazy.
Crazy. I can't imagine. I think it goes to show like how strong the brand of Primos is. Like, especially in Northeast, like everyone knows who they are.
Exactly.
Like everyone remembers. So I think that's really sick. I guess as far as Primos itself, like what do you think as far as like a sandwich and all that kind of stuff makes you these a little different? I feel like you'd be like the perfect person to speak on it being here for so long, right?
Absolutely. So it's definitely like the lunch meat is huge. It's like top notch. Thuman's is the best. Right. You know what I mean? Like I know there's other stuff out there that other people definitely like, but in my opinion, Thuman's is the best. And you know, the bread is killer. Like
I think that's such a key in Philly everywhere. No matter what you have, any sandwich shop, you gotta have the bread. It starts with that. Yeah, that's one of my favorite. Like coming here with the cedar rolls and everything like that.
And we got ovens in the back, so it's always fresh. So like when at 12 o'clock, when I barrel through the bread, I'm making more. So it's never sitting around for like 8 hours. This way it'd be like a brick you throw through the windshield.
Yeah, and I feel like you guys have had a good experience with this too. So like coming from where you started to now, like how's the experience been like trying to figure out kind of how all the online and stuff like that works? Because that's probably a huge part of your guys' business now, right?
Yes, like right now, like the online and the third party, it's huge.
Yeah,
it's insane.
massive.
But when it first started, I remember coming.
I'd imagine that's what I was gonna say. You probably came from like, what the heck is this stuff?
Well, I'm like, what is this? Like, it doesn't make no sense. Like the tickets are kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then like the Grubhub third party, I was like, I never even had an iPad. Now I have 3 of them for DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats. I'm trying to run around and do it. I'm like, this is never gonna work. This is brutal. But it ended up obviously we started there, and they only got better and better, and you know. Technology made it a little bit easier.
Oh, it's at the end of the day, anything that makes someone more convenient would pay. It's crazy, I think, what people pay for it. Like, I don't do it that much, and I'm not gonna bash on them, but I just think it's crazy that someone's willing to pay so much more to have this person do it. But I guess at the end of the day, it's like delivery.
I guess delivery, convenience.
Yeah, not having to do anything. I'm a big like pick it up person.
Yeah.
Like, I like to pick it up. I'll say what's up to people. I'm always a sucker for like if I walk in, you can't see, but there's chips or sandwich. I'll grab whatever I can. Yeah, so. No, I love all that stuff. How does it work, guys, with like, so you guys have food and stuff here on the outside. Is that like does that all go through the shop and everything?
Yeah. So like we got like hers and all, they're our vendors, and we have the salads and Pepsi's our other vendor. So yeah, they come in, they drop it off, and then, you know, we just ring it up, we pay for it before they leave.
So by the time this airs, it'll have already happened, but I guess let's talk a little bit. I know you're excited for Saturday, right? So you got a big thing going on Saturday, so let's talk about that a little bit.
So this Saturday we have like 100 free hoagies. The first 100 people in line.
I'm gonna put the video in of it in the video, so it'll look sick on this. But yeah.
So like because of that, and also because like I said, like living in the community and seeing how like family oriented it is, everything like that. So we have a face painter, a balloon artist, WMMR's DJing. The No Fly Zone is gonna it's like a tailgate for the Phillies. They're going to be here. We're having a balloon arch, a ribbon cutting ceremony. So all the stuff, I feel like the ribbon
parking lot is going to be top.
Pumping. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
No, that'll be sick. I'm excited to do that. So we were literally just talking with my brother plays lacrosse, and they have a game, 2 of them, and my dad's like, oh, like I'm going over there. Do you want to go over there? I'm like, nope. I'm like, I'm going as Primo Saturday.
It's gonna be,
I mean, you're not talking me out of it. I'm going.
And so it's funny because like obviously being from Port Richmond, there's so many of my friends there, and then And then over here in the Northeast, I have a million friends. I had a barbecue down the shore, and like all the people came. They're like, and they were like, dude, how many people from the Northeast do you know? I was like, they're like, you only been here 2 years. I was like, I don't know, they're all friendly. It's nice and easy. It's a great community, man.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah,
it's like half and half now. So it's awesome.
I know. That's what's funny in my business. I get a lot of people that are like going to and from Philly or to Bucks or this, that, and I love anyone who's doing anything, but like at my core, I'm still very like, I love Northeast.
Yeah.
I grew up here, like we just bought a house here, like I don't plan on leaving until they force me out of here.
No, same thing.
So.
I love it. All my neighbors, like, they're all cool. My neighbor next door, he's a retired cop. He's like 75 years old. He went to North too. Anytime he sees me, he doesn't even say hello. He's like, "What's up, you ugly?" Like,
those are probably such a great people too. Like, it's probably such a pick me up, like owning a place like this where you get to see these people all the time. I think that's a very underrated aspect. Like, even me growing older, like, and I talk about my brothers, but even then they're in college and they're kind of like, hey, it kind of stinks. Like, I'm distant with some people that I used to be really close with, and I feel like here is awesome where you can see so many people and they're always happy to see you because they're about to get a good sandwich.
Exactly.
That's a good time to talk to people.
100%.
Underrated, yeah.
And I would say, like, the first week, I've probably seen about 40 to 50 people that I know just to come in and say, congratulations, I'm so happy you're here. And then I've also met about 25 people here. Like, it's funny, my mom has a list on the other side of the register, writing down people's names because, like, you know, you see so many people trying to remember them all.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just like trying to be friendly, and that's another good thing with her. She's up here, as you know how, like, I was saying before, like at the old deli, we make fun of people. People, like, she'll come in and, like, don't mess with them. She'll be like, dude, you called 2 minutes ago. What's the matter? You can't tell time? She'll, like,
that's good. That's what I get, like, when I think about, like, when you're talking about, like, how it used to be being in Port Richmond and stuff. Like, I feel like that's the vibe, which I think is awesome, kind of having that here. So I know you're giving out. So also Saturday you're doing the $9.99 hoagies. You're giving out the free ones, and then you're gonna have the whole everybody here. As far as like owning this now, what other plans you have kind of going forward that I guess would be different than what you were doing at Ardmore, or in general?
Yeah, I mean, like here, I definitely just want to, you know, continue to increase the business from where it was. Like that's like the number one factor. I want to get cheesesteaks within like the next 6 to 7 months.
Awesome.
Once I kind of get grounded here. And as far as that, really just like getting out more in the community. Like I said, we're doing lunch for Judge, doing events around here. Obviously tied into Calvary, Tarsdale, Boys Club. Want to get down there. I have a couple friends like Bryn Primavera. She's a good friend of mine. I know all her kids. They're all involved with Tarsdale.
Okay, Primavera. Yeah, so we know some of the Primaveras that I think are involved with macaronis. Is that the same ones?
Oh no, I love macaroni. I wish I knew that.
No, okay. So I coach some of their kids at Calvary, so that's awesome. But yeah, no, that's going to be really cool. I think you guys are going to have such a good, easy transition kind of integrating into all this, and I think that'll be awesome. So outside of that, you got any other things kind of you're interested in talking about or promoting or anything like that?
I guess like one of the real things I wanted to promote is like this is, you know, Primos. Oh, they're a big franchise. They're this or that. They're all over the place. I was like, well, this franchise here is family owned, family operated before anything else. Like this is a family business. Primos, great. I love being Primos, but you know,
I can just tell right now from talking to you the last 10 minutes, and anyone who watched this can understand that. You could just tell, like, you give off a lot of Northeast, like, just energy and vibes, and I could tell there's no franchise sort of to it at all. As far as, like, scaling business, is that, like, one of the other things, too, like, marketing-wise? I just thought of this. Like, so is that kind of a good way, like, I guess, to pump what you guys are doing? Is that a lot of marketing and local stuff? Is there stuff you're doing, like, online and stuff like that?
Yeah, so fortunately, like Primos, I have like a really good online presence, great marketing.
I saw that, yeah, looking into it, yeah.
So I'm doing as much of that as I possibly can, all that stuff. I'm going to definitely do coupon hours, and I have menus coming Saturday, which after you come in, you get a menu, and then there's coupons in there as well. Yeah. Hopefully, you know, entice you to come back.
We're going to start running at ours, and I want to definitely get you on. We do like a flyer, like we have like a couple thousand in our database, and I want to start doing like a monthly flyer where everyone that comes on the show, we give out some sort of promotion for all of them, and it goes out to them, and that's a lot of Northeast people. Yeah. So I think that would be great. And one other underrated thing I think is the spot you're at location-wise. Like I work like on the other side of the boulevard right here, and literally like this is an awesome spot. I feel like so many people, there's so much food around here. So like if it's lunch, like I'm just like, I'll just go around here and get everything. So you're in the middle of everything. I think it's awesome, like just being on Welsh and kind of the boulevard here.
Yeah, and also too, like I understand like people, it's hard to get here sometimes. Like, you know, when it's so busy, you only have an hour for lunch, but we also have online delivery. All you do is you go through the Primo website, tap on us, and it sends it to us, and a DoorDash driver, he takes it to you, and you don't get hit with them fees. It's a one delivery fee, and you pay store prices, which I think is clutch.
That's so sick, yeah. So that's awesome. So, all right, yeah, thank you. I appreciate you coming on. If you got If you ever need anything from us, let me know. I'm going to tell everybody to come. I already hit up all my group chats. I'm letting people know to come Saturday, so I think it's going to be a great time. So, yeah, thanks,
You
brother.
got it, man. Anytime, bro.
Yeah.